Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Unscripted. As you can see, we have a blast from the past. The man I never thought I would see again has showed up, back up on Unscripted as the original three-peat monster, Big Shaw from Big Shaw Sports. What's up, brother?
What's up, man? I'm glad to be back, Jay and Logan.
It's good to have you back, man. Like I was telling Logan, it was hard to dig you up, man, but once I found you, you weren't running. Logan, what's up, brother?
What's going on, guys? Glad to have Jay on as always. Amazing time to see Shaw back as well. It's been quite some time. Glad to see him, to hear his takes in a little bit. It's going to be a great show, man. I just know it.
Yeah, if you want a guy who'll give it to you straight, man, hey, Big Shaw has no problems giving you the deal. Now, Big Shaw, as you know, right now, you guys, Shaw's a Yankees fan. Logan is a Braves fan. I'm an Astros fan. And all three of our teams are being real competitive right now as we get ready for this final stretch run leading into October. Shaw, man, what a turnaround in these standings, man. You guys were comfortably at number one. We were right at around – we actually started the season out in last place. Now we're comfortably around number three. The Mets, I believe – or the Dodgers, Dodgers, Mets, Astros, and Yankees now at this point. But, man, how crazy has this season been already?
I'm going to go in the room. In there.
Let's go to bed. Let's go to bed because
Big Shaw got the whole house in that thing over there today.
Hey, you can hear me, Jay?
There we go.
Yeah, I got you.
Bro.
Yeah. I have to move inside.
It's all good, man. What you think about the baseball standings, man? The Yankees been on a little bit of a slide lately.
Well, Jay, my New York Yankees is in a bad spot right now. I hope that they can get it together and not continue to fall. But I will say this though. Before the start of baseball season, I did say watch out for the New York Mets, and they're doing pretty good too.
Yeah, they are definitely looking good. I guess. Hey, I guess we lost him for a few minutes, but hey, Logan. So tonight, Lance McCullers comes off the DL for the first time since 2021 when he went on the DL, and now he's actually back, and he's making his debut tonight.
Yeah, nice to see him back. Obviously, it's going to help out your pen. It's going to help out your rotation. We all know McCullers is a solid start and rotation pitcher. And what a time to get him back with a little bit over a month left in the season, headed into October.
Yeah, we got McCullers back. I think Severino for the Yankees should be back probably in the next couple of weeks. I don't think he's going to be that much longer on the IL. And then DeGrom came back for the Mets. I mean, how crazy is that? And then we still got Kershaw out for the Dodgers, but we don't even know how long he's going to be on the DL with that back issue.
Right, it'll just linger throughout the rest of the season, more than likely. It's just now is the real gutsy time for a lot of players because they've been banged up over on the final push towards October, towards the postseason. And, we're going to see a lot more guys go down. Hopefully not too many big names like you mentioned, but now is the time where that wear and tear really starts to hit a lot of guys in all these rosters.
Yeah, absolutely. Big Shaw, what do you make of it's interesting how the Yankees came out and they looked pretty damn unbeatable at the beginning of the season up until about the All-Star break. And now it's kind of shifted over to the Dodgers, and the Dodgers at this point are almost looking unbeatable at this, themselves.
You can hear me, Jay and Logan?
Yeah, I got
Yep,
you.
we got
dude.
you. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I don't like the Dodgers. I can't stand them neither. But all I know is Yankees. Jay, the Yankees gonna win it all.
I think for the Yankees, I'm wondering if they can just stay healthy enough. You know, Carpenter, they brought him in. He was doing extremely well for the Yankees. Then he gets that fractured foot, and now he's on the DL. We probably won't see him back, until the playoffs, and that's if he comes back in the playoffs. You know, how do you think injuries are going to affect your team going to the playoffs? Can you stay healthy all the way through?
Jay, we're gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine, Jay. The Yankees is the best team in baseball, and the Astros, they're hot trash. So don't worry about it, Jay. My New York Yankees will be fine. It's next man up in New York. If you've been to New York before, you're a Yankee or you're a Mets. But hey, the New York Yankees is fine, Jay. Is next man up. Well, we're going to the championship, and we're gonna win it. But I will say again before I left, I did say before the start of the season, watch out for the New York Mets, and they're doing pretty good. I know I shouldn't be saying that, but they're doing pretty good. But my Yankees, you don't got to worry about them, Jay. We're gonna win that championship.
Yeah. And,
Yes,
and I don't know if I'm really worried about it. I mean, right now they're in my rearview mirror. I kind of look back every now and then just to make sure they're still there. And yeah, they're still there in the rearview mirror.
Yeah, they're going to be there. They're not going nowhere.
They're too good of a team.
The New York Yankees isn't going anywhere, Jay.
Same with the Mets, man.
You know, hey, I want to switch gears real quick. And this will be the last one before we get into the show. Wilson in preseason has now gotten hurt. So he's going to be out for 2 to 4 weeks, it looks like, with a bone bruise. He's got a torn meniscus. So he's got a bone bruise and a torn meniscus that's been confirmed. So he's out about 2 to 4. I'm going to tell you now, with the torn meniscus, I think he's going to be out a little bit longer than 4 weeks. But what is up with these Jets? Becton, their offensive lineman, goes down. They bring in Dwayne Brown to fill his spot. Now we got Wilson going down. Mm-hmm. I mean, how crazy is this Jets team? I mean, they just can't quite seem to get it all together.
It's just that Jets curse, man. I mean,
I think
this
so.
team ain't been good in years. And right when they get a little bit of optimism, right? Last year they got Coach Saleh. They got, Zach Wilson from BYU, number 2 overall pick. Guys were hyped about it. Had an up and down year last year. Not great, not the worst quarterback in the league either. And then you mentioned Becton, one of their premier picks they had not too long ago either. He's out for the rest of the year. He came into camp overweight. He was already criticized for that. And now we see that because of the bad health he was in, that even though he was working it off, his body just couldn't handle it.
Right.
And that's what, it was a freak accident also happened in training camp. And it sucks for him, really does, because, he had a lot of promise, but he's going to be out for the year. Like you mentioned, they got Brown, who was a free agent up till then. We didn't know if he was really going to get signed because he was arrested earlier in the offseason for, I think, gun possession or something like that. Mm-hmm. So I'm surprised they signed him for 2 years also. I thought it would just be a 1-year deal, but I guess they think he's got a little bit more left in the tank. And then as for Wilson the other night getting injured, guys, everyone thought it was a torn ACL at first.
Right.
It looked bad. But once the coach and once we found out that it wasn't that severe, then it's like, all right, well, just keep him off the field for God's sake until the start of the regular season. Have Mike White, have Joe Flacco, just go for it. The rest of the preseason, they can work it out, and Wilson can just do rehab behind the scenes. But I don't know, man. The Jets ain't looking too good. They're already stumbling out the gates in the first week of the season.
We talking about the New York Jets now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Jay, and Logan. Before I get to that, I was watching the Cleveland Browns and Jacksonville, and I heard the Jacksonville fans calling Deshaun Watson. I think he said he sucked or whatever. Now Jacksonville fans can't talk about nobody. They can't talk about nobody sucked. Jacksonville Jaguars is the epitome of trash. They have nothing in Jacksonville. Deshaun Watson is 10 times better than most of everybody on that roster. So Jacksonville can't talk no mess about anybody being trash or they suck. But with the Jets, now this is just preseason. I do like what the Jets did in the draft. I really do. But they may shock a few people this year. You know, I'm pulling for them this year because I like their cornerback that they drafted. So I'm pulling for the Jets this year. They can play the dark horse and maybe surprise a few people this year.
You think maybe a playoff spot or a spoiler team?
They're gonna be a spoiler.
So not good
if they get to the playoffs,
spoiler.
But they're gonna be a spoiler.
Where would you put them in the East standings? Would you put them like second, third? I know it probably ain't first, but where would you rank them in the standings for that division?
Well, I'm gonna put them last, but they will be the spoiler. They will shock a few teams.
I got you. Okay.
You know, I can see that happening because every year
got so much young talent. Something's got to happen.
Yeah, something's gonna happen. It is brewing up.
Man, what a time to be alive! And I can see that happen. I still think my dark horse that I think is going to do well in the play or in the season and possibly even in the playoffs would be Minnesota. I don't think that Green Bay's going to have it as easy in that division. I think Minnesota's going to knock on their door.
Mm-hmm. I got Detroit, Jay. That rookie defensive end they got out of Michigan. Now, hey, if that young man can play like he did in the preseason, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. I got them winning that division, Jay.
Ooh. Hey, Jay, what did I tell you whenever we did the game preview between them and the Falcons the other night? I said, watch out for that man. And my God, is he impressed with just one game? I'm scared.
Oh, yeah.
He was getting double teamed.
I think Walker, I think Walker's having a good camp as well, though.
Yeah, Tracy Walker, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's having a good camp as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how both of those guys, how their careers go and how they play.
I put more faith in the Lions having a better season maybe than the Jets.
Yeah, I think they're going to have a good season. I think
they're going to have a good season, but I put the Lions just a little bit above them. Maybe better winning record, perhaps.
Yeah, but that Jets. Well, I don't know, man. I mean, who's cursed more, Detroit or the Jets? I mean,
hey, bro, right now they're 1-2.
The Jets.
I still got Detroit number one, though.
Yeah, Detroit.
Detroit number one, but the Jets, in terms of recency bias, they're creeping up to number two with the Giants.
I mean, honestly, both of those organizations, for quite a long time, like decades almost, have been where careers basically go to die. Truthfully,
you're wrong, brother.
I mean, I think Matthew Stafford is a testament to that philosophy in terms of it's like he's been reborn. He came out of 1 year out of Detroit and he won a Super Bowl. I mean, I'm just
like, could you imagine if Calvin Johnson went to another team? I don't care who it is. He went to a team with Tom Brady or someone good.
Bro, if that was to have ever happened, he would have got it. He would have got a ring. He definitely would have. Barry would have got one too, I think, depending on who took him.
Yeah, that's fine. All right, Jay, let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get this bad boy rolling. All right, man. First topic up for bids is Ohtani he's going to be expected to ask for $50 million on his next contract per year. And, the thing about it is, like I was telling them earlier, 23 is the arbitration year. 24 is the free agent year. So I'm really surprised that they didn't move Ohtani because there's no way in hell that the LA Angels are going to be able to afford $50 million a year for this guy. I just don't see them financially doing it. So I'm really surprised they didn't try to trade him for draft picks and things of that nature this year. I guess they could possibly do it next year. I think maybe the picks might be less because now they know he's going into free agency and maybe they don't have to give up anything for him. But at the same time, the guy's batting like what, 256. I think he's got 25 home runs, 66 RBIs. And the crazy thing is he's pitching 2.68 with 157 strikeouts. On both sides of the ball, this guy is just lighting it up unbelievably to the point where, I don't think we've seen anything of the likes of Ohtani ever. If you'd have to go back to Babe Ruth, obviously, to see the likes of Ohtani. Logan, what do you think?
I mean, this is a guy we talk about him pretty much every show just because of how amazing he is, how he's breaking records every other week at this point. And I think he deserves this money, man. He does. Because, I mean, you're not getting anyone in Major League Baseball that can do what he does on both sides of the diamond. He can hit for power. He can pitch really well, too. And, I mean, I think he's earned the $50 million a year contract. I mean, like I say, he's got good awards already, all-star appearances, anything you could ask for in a superstar player. But it's just the pure incompetence of the Angels organization ever since, not just him, but ever since Mike Trout came into the picture. And, I mean, Jay, they're battling for the last place right now in the West. I mean, Oakland, they're still a few games ahead of them, but, I mean, they're in fourth place. I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
I don't know how they do it every year, how they fail to not even really get close to the playoffs. I don't understand it. You have two of the best players in baseball, plus they have Rendon, who is, coming off of a really good year, who got hurt, unfortunately, but they just can't, for whatever reason, man, Anaheim just can't get it rolling. And, I mean, they're going to lose it. I mean, I don't know if Trout's going to be gone. I know he's under contract for 10 more years, but, I mean, Ohtani looks like if I'm him, I'm getting out of there as soon as I can. I'm going to a winning organization. I mean, Mike Trout, God bless him, he signed for millions and millions of dollars, but he's kind of like in a Detroit Lions kind of case and whatnot, how that's where your career goes to die. Los Angeles is the baseball version of that in Anaheim. So I think Ohtani's about to get the Brinks truck backed up to his house, and he's going to go once he hits arbitration. I mean, they're going to be in they're going to be in that case battle for a minute, and it ain't going to get resolved easy. I think that if the Angels do sign him, it'll only be for cheap. It'd be for 1 year, at maybe 2, just so they can sign him and immediately trade him. But I don't see him on the Angels much longer. And if I'm Ohtani's agent, man, I am calling every other team in the league to try and get him on there because, I mean, Anaheim just ain't doing it.
Yeah, and then Shaw, when asked, he was very non-committal to the Angels when they asked about trades and if he was going to stay there. So he hasn't exactly given the most honest indication that he's going to stay there. What do you do if you're the Angels, and what do you think about Ohtani? Does he get that $50 million a year?
Well, Jay, if I was him, I'd leave. It's nothing there. Now they do got a nice stadium. I will say that.
Oh,
but
it's a beautiful stadium.
It's a beautiful stadium.
But that ain't gonna make it enough for you to stay.
No, it's not. It's not enough. It's not that beautiful to make him want to stay.
No.
But PNC Park is beautiful too. But
that's true.
If I was him, I'd leave. You know where I want him to go, Jay. He can always come home to New York.
Yeah.
We'll take you. We'll take you, sir. Come on to New York. Come play for the Yankees.
God knows if there's somebody out there who's got enough money to give him $50 million a year.
There's only two teams that got the money, and that's the Yankees.
Come to the Pinstripes.
That's the other team in Los Angeles.
Yeah, he'll have a better chance of winning the championship with my Yankees than the Angels.
I'll agree with that there.
Yeah, I would leave. I would get out of Anaheim as soon as possible.
I'm just counting the days down now at this point, man, because it ain't working out in Anaheim.
No,
I'll say, man. Hey, let me tell you something. My blind uncle could probably win a championship with the Yankees. If he got there over the, there's no doubt about it.
No doubt.
What a time to be like Ohtani. I do think he's going to go somewhere. Do I think he gets $50 million? I don't see why he wouldn't. I think you give him $25 million a year to be a pitcher, and you give him the other $25 million a year to be a hitter, since he's playing both roles. I mean, I think he does command that kind of money.
And Jay, do you want to know something crazy? The Angels haven't even had a winning season since he's been there.
Yeah.
Like, I think he got there in 17 or 18. I forget which one. But they went 80 and 82 back-to-back years, 72 and 90 and 19. And the COVID year, they went 26-34. Last year, they went 77-85. And, I mean, right now, they're getting close to 20 games below 500 again.
Yeah, that's insane. The only team that's worse than them is the Angels. I mean, the Athletics. And I don't even know where the Orioles. I would say the Orioles, but now the Orioles have actually moved up in the standings.
Spot right now.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm glad for them, man. Hey, they've earned it.
How crazy is that? The Orioles have a better record than the Red Sox.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and the Angels too. I mean, the Orioles probably 1 year worth of Mike Trout's contract is probably the equivalent to the entire
whole roster,
infield
maybe,
for the Orioles.
That's just insane to me.
It's wild.
Well, I mean, look at LeBron James. What he makes in 1 year is probably more than what the Angels make as a team. I mean, it's just insane. All right, folks, we're gonna move this show along a little bit, and then we're gonna go into Daniel Jones, as we talked about earlier, and the offensive line, I guess, as a collective unit, have been called out on Twitter. Basically, we all know that Daniel Jones has struggled to pick up the pressure when it's applied, and he's had a hard time making the reads quick enough to get the ball out of his hands, and so that's been leading him to basically a lot of bad throws and also sacks, and I don't know. I mean, this is his contract year, right? I think this is the last year. It's going to be a make or break for Daniel, and if he doesn't get together, I think he's going to be riding the bench like Mitchell Trubisky. Well, not now, because I think Mitchell's he's in the hunt for the Pittsburgh starting nod, but you know what I mean? Like, I guess you could use Darnold as a good example at that point. Logan, what do you think about Daniel Jones? Does he make it or does he
I mean, you brought up a point that he struggles to read guys coming at him. Bro, you're a quarterback. You've been one for years now in the NFL. You should know this. I mean, if you can't pick up on that, you don't deserve to be a starter.
right?
And I mean, I get the O-line ain't helping him much either. But I mean, yeah. I mean, if the Giants and all the signs are pointing to it that if they have a rough year, man, Jones is probably going to be gone. Because I mean, the Giants don't play around. They thought this kid. My God, they sat Eli Manning down in his final year for him, and
Right.
They said, Eli, thanks for all the great years of Super Bowls, yada yada yada. But hey, we got this kid here, and I mean, he just ain't done it. He's like Sam Darnold, like you said in the pre-show. He's shown flashes of good play while he got drafted so high, but he ain't consistent. He hasn't been consistent his entire tenure. Like I say, he's going to be a free agent in 23, and I mean, it ain't looking like he's coming out. He's as a top 10 pick. And already 25, he might already be riding the pine next year if it don't go good for him in 22.
Yeah, I agree. Big Shaw. Dable is credited with basically building Josh Allen's career. Can he do this with Daniel Jones, or is it impossible?
Well, I will say this to Daniel Jones' defense. That offensive line got to protect their quarterback. I mean,
you're right.
Of course he's going to be throwing the ball all over the place and being under pressure. I mean, you got to protect your quarterback. If you can't protect him, I mean, what you expect him to do, But to Daniel Jones, again, this is his contract year. But this is preseason. I really think Daniel Jones will be okay. I really do. But you got to get that offensive line intact as well. If you want the quarterback to play well, he can't play well if he constantly got pressure in his face. I don't want to get on topic, but I will say this: just like with Tennessee Titans, the coach made a stupid comment, which was really stupid. Malik Willis played pretty damn well.
Yeah.
You're talking about he needs to throw the ball more. Again, your offensive line have to protect these quarterbacks. Of course, they're gonna run for their life. Of course, they're gonna get rid of the ball early. If you don't have an offensive line, you're gonna be like Daniel Jones. He's gonna be on your back every play. But you gotta protect your quarterback. You gotta have a good offensive line. I know it's preseason football. This is when you have the chance to fix it before the season starts. But he's in the same boat as Tua, because this is Tua's year as well to get it under control. If he don't, he's going to be out of Miami.
Absolutely. I definitely agree with that.
You got Jason Waddle, you got Tyreek Hill. Come on, man. You got a good running back there. If the Dolphins don't do anything, man, something got to happen, man.
Tua, he's been a great tight end in Gesicki too.
He's got Hill, so I mean, this is the time to put up or shut up if you're Tua.
Well, and the thing is, Shaw brought it up. I just want to kind of ask you guys that same question. Malik Willis is looking pretty damn good in training camp, even though it is preseason.
Mm-hmm.
But are we looking at, Willis eventually sooner rather than later replacing Tannehill?
If Tannehill struggles, I'd throw him in there.
Yeah, if Tannehill if Tannehill struggles and don't play worth a flop or a flip, I'll put Willis in. Because that's basically what he's there for. He's there to take Tannehill's job. And if I was Malik Willis, I would go in and I would take his job.
And that's what he looked great. He looked great in a little bit.
He did look good. He looked pretty damn good to me.
Yeah,
threw a nice ball. And I mean, if this all works out right, if presumably it looks like that Tannehill's going to be under center for this season, and we know that they gave up A.J. Brown. They got Jefferson out of Arkansas, who was compared to A.J. Brown whenever he got drafted.
Yep.
And my God, man, I mean, if this works out for the Titans, they might have got a steal with him in round 1, and then Willis dropping all the way to round 3. I mean, hey, future looked good though for Tennessee.
And Willis actually was in first round talks, and until he fell to the third round.
Yeah, that was crazy. I thought he was going first round.
I thought he was the best. I thought he was the best quarterback there.
And that's the thing.
That's what I thought Pittsburgh should have got.
Oh, absolutely. No, I agree with you 100% on that. I still can't believe that they didn't take.
Yeah, same with Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh made a bad mistake. I really do. I think Pittsburgh is going to pay for that mistake as soon as the season starts. I would have loved to see Malik Willis in a Pittsburgh Steelers uniform. I think he would have had the perfect
been the clean cut winner too. I think he would have beat Trubisky.
Man,
Pickett. I mean, I'm still kind of up in the air about that. I don't know if they're going to start Trubisky. I don't know if they're going to start Pickett. I mean, there hasn't been really much talk between who's going to be the starter.
Man, if you're drafting a guy, in the first round, and he can't outbeat Mitchell freaking Trubisky, if that's who your competition is, come on. I'm just saying, if Mitchell Trubisky is your quarterback competition, Lord,
you ain't gonna have a good year. You ain't gonna have a good.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, honestly, let's just be honest.
And like I said, I mean, I just haven't looked into it a whole lot, honestly, just because I don't keep up with Pittsburgh football. But I mean, we seem like for every other team who drafted a quarterback, right? It seems that we know that the rookie's going to be the backup or whatnot. But for them, I mean, he's the only one drafted in the first round. If I'm drafting somebody in the first round, 9 times out of 10, I want them to start that season unless it's Trey Lance.
I just can't believe. Speaking of Trey Lance, Sean, I'm glad you're on here. What do you think about Trey Lance and this being the year that he's going to be a starter? What is your projection? Presumably.
I've been waiting for Trey Lance to get his opportunity to start. I'm a big fan of Trey Lance. I believe in him, just like the 49ers do. I think he's he's going to do a great job. We know San Francisco, they are a run heavy team. So, but you got Deebo Samuels as well. So with Trey Lance, you got a great opportunity. I've seen the 49ers play, their first piece of the game. Their defense looked pretty damn good. They looked pretty damn good. I was amazed at how they played in the preseason. But Trey Lance, he got the perfect opportunity. You got Deebo Samuels. You got a running game. I think this guy's gonna do really good this season. I've been waiting to see him play. But I will say this too. Besides Trey Lance, that defensive end from Georgia that went to Jacksonville first, the guy out of Georgia, I'm going to tell you this. If he don't perform well, because when you get drafted first, you have to perform. And my eyes will be on him in Jacksonville. You have to get after those quarterbacks in that division. If he doesn't do anything, Jay, Jacksonville deserves to get out of the NFL because they're pathetic.
They get relegated.
You have to perform. When you're a first-round draft pick, now you got out to Trey Lance, he's going to do great, but you have to perform well when you get drafted first. And I'm telling you, we're gonna have some busts in this draft class. And
Oh yeah,
yeah,
I think the Jacksonville Jaguars should just join the LIV tournament.
yeah,
Totally.
because Jacksonville is,
Yeah.
is something else, man. I really
I'm
don't
good.
feel Jacksonville will do anything this year, but others think differently. But I just don't see Jacksonville
I
doing
know
that.
they're gonna have probably a better luck at head coach because my God, Urban Meyer was dumpster fire. Was all over him last year. And as for the San Francisco talk, before we move on, what I don't understand what's going on, guys. They've been saying for weeks, oh, we're gonna trade Jimmy. Jimmy's gonna be gone. He's gonna be out of here.
Yeah,
We're week 1 in the preseason.
Well, I think they were saying they were going to wait until after he cleared his. They can't trade him until he passes a physical or he has his physical. I think that's when they can trade him, and I don't know if he's had that yet.
Where does he even go? So. Where does he go?
Man, I don't know. That's the longest time they ever take a physical, though.
He can go to Cleveland. He can come on.
Cleveland's going to need a quarterback this year.
Yeah. To speak on that. I like Deshaun Watson. I really do. But the big question is, will he play this season? I'm going to tell you what I think. First of all, he's not going to jail. To all the idiots out there, he's not going to jail. That's been proven already. People don't seem to understand that. It's not getting in their head that he's not going to prison. What is he going to prison for? He's not going to prison. Everything basically is a money game. So I can see Deshaun Watson getting, I said it before, I can see Deshaun Watson getting 8 to 10 games. Force him get suspended for the whole year, because he was already out the year. But I don't see him getting suspended for a whole year again. If so, they might have to take it to court. I just don't see him get suspended for a whole nother year. That would make no sense, to me. But again, the NFL, they're hot and heavy on this trail right now.
Yeah, and you mentioned 8 games, and it came out the other day that Deshaun and his team, they offered for 8-game suspension, and he'd have to pay, I believe, $5 million for a fine to the women, to an organization. I'm not sure which. But, I mean, if I'm the NFL, I'll take it, get it off my – that way they don't have to worry about this any longer. I mean, you're going to get backlash either way if he gets suspended for a year, if he gets suspended for 8 games. There's not going to be – you can't please everyone. That's just the way the world works.
I don't think that – the reason why I think he gets a year is because Goodell has gone all in on Deshaun. He didn't get the year with the first lady that he picked. So he took it back. He gave it to the ex-attorney general of New Jersey because I'm sure he felt like he would get the year there. I think Goodell has to get the year, or it just makes them look really bad if he doesn't.
I think that's what they're going to shoot for, but I'm not sure if that's what the end result is going to be.
No,
and I mean, as for Deshaun, if it is the whole year, man, that sucks because that is 2 years of his prime that is going to be, down the drain.
Oh, absolutely.
For reasons that could have been avoided,
What a time to be alive, man. Josh Jacobs, is he going to be a big factor for the Raiders? So he in the preseason game, I believe it was Jacksonville, he went 5 for 30 yards in the preseason, which is not bad. That's averaging about 6 yards a carry. They are carrying they got White. Zaire White, I think, was from Georgia. Isn't that who you guys picked up in the draft?
Yeah, Zamir White, yeah.
Or Zamir White. I'm sorry, Zamir White. So you got, and I think him and Zamir White will be, your main featured backs. And then I think Kenyon Drake and Bolden I think they're going to use them more in pass catching situations, just like New England did, because I think that's kind of Josh McDaniels' style. So I can see them running that 4-headed monster in those specific directions. But I do think that Zamir White is going to be Josh Jacobs' heir apparent or replacement at some point. I don't know if it's going to be this year or next year, but I think they're going to phase out Josh Jacobs eventually if Zamir White is the answer at that spot. Logan?
Yeah, it looks like that might be it. I mean, it came out about a month ago or so now that he didn't get the contract extension, that they weren't going to re-sign him when they had that whole crop of players they re-signed. So, I mean, this is kind of a prove-it year for him. If he comes out, if he has a tremendous season, I feel like the Raiders should re-sign him because, I mean, you see he's got the captain's logo on his chest. Obviously, the team likes him. He's been there. He's been productive for many years there. And I do like Zamir White, right, coming out of Georgia, call him Zeus. And, I mean, he's a short guy, man, but he's stocky. He'll run someone over. But I don't want Josh to leave personally. I thought he's been always a really good running back, really solid. You know, he's not going to be the number one in the league, but he's not going to be, you know, bottom 5 either. He's always going to be in that kind of top 10 conversation. But, I mean, I think you keep him on for this year. I think that with the additions, of course, we all know with how they got Adams and whatnot. They got Waller, Renfro, they re-signed. I mean, I think that it could really open up the running game for the team. I mean, because, I mean, everyone's going to be expecting passing. But just give the ball off to Josh and Zamir a good bit of times. I mean, that could just do wonders. And like I said, with the defense, I'm expecting more turnovers too. I'm expecting Chandler Jones and the rest of that crew to really get things rocking and get some turnovers. And hopefully all goes well for the Raiders. But, yeah, I do think Josh Jacobs could be a really good key factor for the team this year, a little bit of a hidden gem.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think about that, Shaw?
Well, Jay and Logan, I can see Josh Jacobs being out of there. I haven't really been following the Raiders because they're trash too. But I will give this for Mr. Jacobs. He's the Alabama man. So
I'm about to say this is from your college team now.
I'm going to give him the most respect, but I don't see him sticking around and being a Raider for much longer because of what they got going on out in Vegas. But he'll find another home somewhere. He's a great running back. You know, he'll find a home somewhere.
And he's still really young too. He just turned 24 in February. So I mean, he's still got a good bit of years left before you know everyone just says once you hit 30 as a running back, you're cooked. But I don't think so. Plus, he's got, like I said, he's already got a few years of experience under his belt at still a really good young age.
Yeah, he's still young. He got time. Even same thing for Deshaun Watson. How old is he? About 27, 28?
I think he's about
26.
26.
Deshaun's 26. He's going to be 27 in September.
So even if he does suspend it for another year, he still got time. He's still kind of young. So it's just in their court now. You know how they're going to do Deshaun Watson. But
you want to know something too? Daniel Jones is older than Josh Jacobs, and I think we all know who's been more productive.
Yeah. Oh, bring Jones to
they're
Chicago.
both. Yeah, I mean they were both drafted in 19, right? 2019.
Mm-hmm.
So
isn't that crazy?
Yeah, Jake.
Interesting. Well, he's got about in 3 seasons he's got about 3,900 yards. So it's not like he's not doing well. I don't know, man. Josh Jacobs, man, are you going to leave Oakland? Well, I should say Vegas now. So we're saying Vegas Raiders.
Damien, quit saying everyone's going to Chicago. Ain't nobody going to Chicago. You could go be a wide receiver for that team and probably be wide receiver number 1.
That's just crazy.
Am I wrong though, Jay?
No.
With how rough
you're not
that
wrong.
team's
Nobody's
looking?
going to Chicago.
Because, man, if it wasn't for Justin Fields, ain't no one be talking about that team.
Chicago.
Not a soul.
We're going to switch gears real quick. We're going to talk about these Lakers, man. Look, the rumor has it, as I said earlier, they're looking to trade 2 picks to bring in Kyrie Irving, which means they're going to have to possibly bring in a 3rd team to offload Russell Wilson and his contract. So
Russell Wilson?
Not Russell Wilson. Westbrook. I don't know why I'm saying Wilson. I'm sorry. Russell. Well, they both have to run Russell. Whatever. So in order to get rid of Westbrook, they're going to have to find that 3rd team. I don't know if that may be the trickier sticking point to that trade not happening, but I don't know, man. I mean, what are you guys thinking? I mean, I would do it. Would you guys do it, Logan?
I guess. I mean, I think it is going to be a deal with Westbrook and Kyrie. You're going to get those flipped with whatever mystery 3rd team is going to be involved. Who is it? I have no clue. I don't know who would take these contracts on, but it remains to be seen. However, I think the Lakers would run a lot better with Kyrie under point guard than it has been with Westbrook, just because we know the chemistry that LeBron and Kyrie have had over the many years. and I think AD would benefit from it as well. But I mean, these are going to be draft picks in what, like 2028. I mean, it's going to be a long time coming. So,
Oh, yeah.
But just talk about the Nets real quick. The Brooklyn Nets have went from a team who this time last year, Jay, we were all talking about saying, "Oh man, they got Harden, they got Durant, they got Kyrie, they're going to be unbeatable." And then I forget. I don't know if it was me or someone else on the show. We said that if this team don't make it to the finals, then it's going to be one of the biggest flops in history, worse than the 04 Lakers. Because at least the 04 Lakers made it to the finals. That team got swept. The only team that got swept in last year's playoff was the Nets.
Yeah.
Kyrie, we all know the stuff going on with the vaccine issue the whole year. Durant, did his best to carry that team. And then Harden showed up overweight and demanded a trade. So if I'm the Nets, I'm just pushing the eject button and starting clean. I mean, it's looking like the GM, the owner, he came out and said the other week that we want guys who want to help our team and just stuff like that, So it's looking like they're just wanting to reset and get things rolling. Because, I mean, it said that, I don't know if it was Kyrie or Durant, I forget which one, but they said that, either I resign or you get rid of Steve Nash and someone else. I think it was Durant, maybe.
It was Durant.
And I'm like, bro, that is just the definition of a team cancer right there. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, yeah, but I think the Lakers take this deal. He's been linked to them ever since the beginning of the offseason. So I think it gets done eventually. But like Damian said, he said the Nets would be stupid to take on Westbrook's contract. The Nets I don't know what the Nets are going to do this year, man. I have no clue. They are in a horrible position.
Well, what's interesting to me is that both LeBron James and Kyrie Irving are in contract years. So that's another interesting sticking point. The another thing is I don't think they make the move until they figure out what's going to go on with Durant. I think they're going to deal with Durant first, and then once he is dealt with, then they'll move their attention over to Kyrie Irving. I kind of think that's how they're going to play it. Big Shaw, what do you think?
Oh man,
it's a tricky situation, ain't it, brother?
If I was the Lakers, I'd just go ahead and pull the plug and go ahead and get Kyrie Irving and get it over with.
I feel you.
But the thing is with that, Kyrie Irving is still a superstar. I don't care what no one tells me. He's still a great player. I think he can make the Lakers better, but can AD stay healthy? I'm not worried about LeBron James. LeBron James will do his thing. But can AD stay healthy? Or do Kyrie, AD, or do Kevin Durant want to come to LA? Can they get both of them? You get both of them, LA gonna be that team to beat. But I will say this: I am a Luka Doncic fan. He will win MVP. He will win MVP.
I think we got a topic for Tuesday.
Yeah. We'll definitely be talking. You talking about Luka Doncic possibly MVP?
Give me a triple double. Luka Doncic MVP or Kyrie Irving.
I've been saying that, and I think, and Logan knows I've been lobbying for Luka to be in the MVP talks because I feel like he's the most underrated player.
Luka's definitely a tremendous player, and I think that he'll start getting more MVP recognition this year in year 3, I believe. Because him and Trey are going to be linked at the hip for their whole careers, and they're both doing really well for themselves for both franchises. So I think that we'll start getting a little bit more love for both of those guys. Luka, especially with the brand recognition, how he's kind of helped turn the Mavericks around. But I don't know how the Mavs are going to do this year because they lost Brunson, right? Because the Knicks signed him to a boatload of money, which then they got popped for tampering.
Yeah.
Who have the Mavericks really signed anyone this offseason?
They brought in McGee and they brought in Christian Wood from the Rockets. So those are the two.
I like the Wood. I like the Wood signing. McGee's that vet. I don't think he's going to do a whole lot, but I like Christian Wood though.
Dallas
is in a weird situation because I still think they're not in the upper echelon of the West, even though they had a really good year last year. I just think the West, it still got a lot better this offseason with a lot of guys moving around. And I think Dallas is obviously going to be a playoff team, but I just don't know if they're going to kind of go on that Cinderella run they went on this past season just because of the lack there of off-season maneuvers they had.
So what? And Damian brings up a good point. You know, with Kyrie Irving, are they going to be able to get him for a whole season or the majority of a season, or is he just going to go on those weird vacations that he takes?
I think that with LeBron, he's like his dad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's going to put him back in his place. Kyrie's been on his own for years now, and LeBron ain't going to stay with that. Yeah, LeBron ain't going to take that.
I mean, he's a great player. I just think Kyrie has a lot going up in the head.
I love watching Kyrie play. It's just that he's not on the court nearly enough, which sucks because like Shaw said, he's an all-star every single season. He's healthy.
Yeah.
I just think mentally he's unstable a little bit.
He can do everything you want him to do. It's just that, like you said, that with the weeks he takes off due to mental health and whatnot.
Yeah.
And just everything else that goes on with them. I mean, it just sucks to see that, you know, especially the fans who go and pay, they don't see him at all. And
right.
I mean, well, I forget what year it was, but I mean, he hasn't played in over 60 games in probably 5 seasons, it feels like.
Man, what a life Kyrie Irving lives. I mean, how many people could just take off from their job for weeks and come back and pick up where you left off?
Damian said Kyrie's hanging out with AB. Oh, don't even get me started on that guy. Jay, did you see what he said the other day? Antonio Brown.
No, I think I got glimpses of it. What was the gist of it?
Give me 1 second. I'm finding it on his Twitter. It was the most just I don't even know what to say. The most just self-righteous thing I've ever seen a person say about themselves.
I mean, do you think we're ever going to see AB back in the league, or is he just done?
I think he's done.
He is done. Yeah, after that stunt he pulled, who would want to sign him? Okay, but I found it here, Jay. This is a quote from Antonio Brown that he put on his Twitter. All right. This is on his biggest regret. This is word for word. I'm not saying anything. My biggest regret in my career doesn't involve calling my GM a cracker or showing up to Raiders camp late in a hot air balloon with frozen feet or throwing rocks at that UPS driver. And it definitely doesn't involve taking my shirt off and doing a victory lap around the Jet Stadium mid-game while throwing up the deuces. My biggest regret is that I'll never get to see me, Antonio Brown, play a game live. Sure, I can watch the game afterwards, but I can't imagine what that was like for you all to see something like that. Like watching the Beatles or Jesus perform at Red Rocks. What a humble individual.
I mean, how do you
even say that?
I don't know what to say about that.
It's just
whatever drug he's on, that thing's power. That must be one powerful drug.
That is next level right there, bro. He is.
That is something else.
That is.
And y'all thought T.O. and Chad Ochocinco were out there.
Nah, this dude is next level. I'm sorry, I just see a comment here.
Well, if you can say something like that, you are definitely light years ahead of T.O. and Ochocinco.
Oh yeah. No, but I
mean literally
everyone's been making fun of him, right? With the kind of the format he used. So I see in the comments that Buffalo Wild Wings posted. It says, my biggest regret is that I'll never be able to taste myself. Sure, I can watch other people enjoy my wings, but I can't imagine what that was like to taste all my 26 sauces and seasonings for the first time.
Oh, my God. That's kind of damn funny.
I love it.
That's pretty damn funny. That makes me
it's awesome. But, back to Kyrie, I think just get the deal done. I'm tired of waiting.
Well, that and Durant, right? I mean, both of them. Get them done. I mean, we've been doing this forever now, you know?
I just need something, man.
Man, so we're going to talk about what under-the-radar college football team can basically play spoiler to one of the bigger universities' chances at a national title. I went with Mississippi State Bulldogs as mine. Last year, they knocked off NC State, Texas A&M at College Station, Kentucky, and they upset Auburn with that 40-point unanswered performance and they nearly beat, or they almost beat Arkansas, but they lost that one. And I think they're going to be better this year with Will Rogers at the helm as quarterback. He got roughly about 4,800 yards and 36 touchdowns with 9 interceptions. So honestly, I think they can definitely play spoiler to a lot of these teams, especially when you got A&M, Georgia that they're hosting, and then they'll be on the road at Alabama, Arkansas, and Auburn. So they got at least 5 opportunities to play spoiler to one of those guys. So I got Mississippi Mud Dogs as my, or Bulldogs, excuse me, as my under the radar football team that plays spoiler. Logan, who are you looking at?
I do like Mississippi State. They're a great team, and that was my pick. But you know me, I always gotta go with someone else. I'll go with a team who has struggled in recent years, who has been really doing good with the recruiting of recent seasons, and a team who is one of the more historic franchise schools in the ACC, and that is at the Florida State Seminoles this upcoming season. I think they could do something. I'm not saying they're going to get far, but they could maybe be a spoiler team who could upset this upcoming season. Let me look at their schedule real quick so I can see who they're playing. But I mean, we all know the ACC. It's run by Clemson, right? We all know what they've been doing in recent seasons. I mean, Wake Forest last year had a really good year too, out of nowhere. So I think Florida State could be my kind of shocker team. They play Wake Forest, they play NC State, they play Miami, they play Florida. I think that they could have a better season and maybe derail someone this upcoming season. But I'm not expecting them to get to the playoffs or nothing, but I think they could have a better year.
Shaw, who's your under the radar college football team?
Well, Jay, I've been thinking about this question, Jay, ever since it popped up on the screen. Jay, I'm gonna go with Penn State. I've been liking Penn State for a mighty long time. If you've never been out there to play, Penn State is out in the middle of nowhere. It is a beautiful place to play. I think Penn State can sneak up and beat some top teams this year. Penn State is a great school. They're going to make some noise, Jay. I really do think Penn State will make some noise. But I will say this, Alabama is going to the championship again. Yeah.
And that's obviously, I could see that happening. With the way that Alabama recruits under Nick Saban, but I do think at some point that this NIL, and I do think at some point this transfer portal is going to take that mystique away from Alabama, and I think that's going to give some of these smaller schools opportunities to eventually knock Alabama off that perch.
Never.
I'm just saying.
I don't know about knock them off the perch, but I would say give them more of a competition.
No, we don't need Alabama recruits. We only need to pay like Texas A&M, where all the trash is at Texas A&M. But that's where all the trash is at College Station. It's right there in Texas A&M. Alabama's gonna smack them around this season, and you know where they come to, Jay? They come to T-Town, Bryant-Denny Stadium. They're gonna smack Texas A&M around. And we're gonna go smack LSU around like a redheaded stepchild. So you tell LSU to get ready. Matter of fact, the LSU fans, they're so delusional. I asked one of them, I said, hey, who's the biggest rival, Alabama or Florida? They're going to tell me Alabama. I said, you know what? I said, that shows me one thing. That you're not a real LSU fan. I said, you know who one of their biggest rivals is? I said, it's Florida. I said, what would you think is Alabama? You know what, Jay? They got quiet. Jay. I said, no, his mom is Florida. I said, LSU hates Florida, and Florida hates LSU. So, also LSU fans, y'all get ready, because y'all gonna get smacked around like a redheaded stepchild when y'all play Alabama. And matter of fact, y'all gonna lose to Florida State. Then y'all gonna lose to Southern.
That's my sleeping team, man. I'm with you.
Yeah.
That's my sleeping team.
They're gonna lose to Southern State.
And I say Florida State
I might be wrong, but I need to be fact checked. But Logan, can you fact check? Did A&M beat Alabama last year?
Yeah, they did.
I just didn't know, because I know we put the trash out. We made sure Alabama was on the curb, so I just wanted to make sure.
How many championships Alabama have?
I don't know, but I just know that you guys lost around the curb, waiting for your ride.
Championships. That trophy case in Tuscaloosa is getting mighty full, Jay. We might need another one.
I don't know. Did you win the championship last year? Oh, that's right. Georgia won
we were rebuilding. We were rebuilding that year.
Oh, you were rebuilding. Oh, okay.
Whatever Nick Saban says, I believe it. We was rebuilding that year.
Yeah. Also, Damien, that is very bold to say Northwestern, a program who went 3-9 last year.
They must be smoking.
I get Florida State. They had a rough year with, I believe, 5-7. But if you look at the games, if you look at it wasn't like they got smacked around, right? I mean, they only lost to Notre Dame by 3 points. They only lost to Wake Forest by a few points. They only lost to NC State by. I mean, those are games they could have won. I'm just saying.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda, and they didn't do it.
And that, like I said, that was last year. I'm looking at this year, though.
Yeah, looking towards the future. Alabama champions.
All right, we're gonna get this last topic.
Let's get this one in. Oh boy.
Fernando Tatis Jr. suspended for 80 games. Listen, guys, I'm not the smartest person in the world. I'm not. But I know, and I firmly believe that if I was in Tatis' position and I'm going to put something into my mouth, some kind of substance in my mouth, I'm going to make sure that whatever it is, I'm going to look at that banned list. And I'm going to make sure that it's not on that list, because I know that I like my money. And I don't like people messing with my money. And that 80 games is going to mess with his money. How do you not? He said, well, he didn't know it was in there. Come on, man. If you don't know something in there, or if you're not familiar with the ingredients in that product, maybe you shouldn't be taking it. And ringworm, I mean, come on. Let's come up with a little bit better story than ringworm. I'm just saying, come up with a little bit better story. Logan?
First off, this is just very disappointing for Padres fans around the world. My God, man. You got Machado, who's been really good. You got Juan Soto, one of the best young players in baseball. Tatis was ever so close to coming back, and the Padres are going to make a nice late season push. All down the drain. Let's look at Fernando Tatis Jr. real quick, Jake. Well, shall we? Yeah. Came into the game super red hot. Best player in baseball for a short amount of time. Rookie of the year, all that stuff. Then last season, he said, hey, I'm going to go on a little bit of joyride. Gets in a bike accident. And he's been hurt ever since. Was so close to coming back. Missed pretty much 75% of the whole season anyways. But that last 25% going into October, I mean, the Padres have, they felt their own. But this was going to be the guy that was hopefully going to put you over the top and have a really good postseason run. And now he's going to be suspended for the rest of this season, the postseason, and I believe 20 games next season in 2023. And let's not forget, he just signed a massive contract for, I believe, 13 years and 300 some odd million. Damien, shut up. And if you listen to the clubhouse, right? If you listen to what any of the players had to say about whenever they found out he got suspended, it's like whenever your dad comes up to you and says, son, I'm not mad at you. I'm disappointed. And that was the word that resonated throughout the entire clubhouse whenever they learned that Tatis got popped for this. I'm not mad, but I'm disappointed. And I heard that, they were saying he needs to mature. I get he's still a young guy, of course. But, I mean, for a guy who had all the hype in the world, all the potential, signs a huge contract. I don't know if it was deservedly so for that amount of time, but I think he's a great player when he's healthy. Gets a bike accident, and now he gets popped for 80 games for PED usage for ringworm, which, Jay, I'm on the same boat as you. How do you get paid that much money? How are you a professional athlete, first off? And how do you get paid that much money and then take any sort of substance without consulting at least 5 doctors at that point? I'm triple checking this.
Yeah.
It's insane. It is a devastating blow to the Padres. And for Tatis, I mean, well, pack it up. We'll see you next year in 23, brother. But hope you stay safe this offseason. Sorry.
Crazy. Charles, what do you think about Tatis, man, getting popped for these steroids?
Well, I want to see everybody put the same energy they put behind Barry Bonds, the rest of the other guys that they said cheated. Y'all should come after him just like y'all do everybody else. I want to see y'all dogging him out, telling him he's a cheater, he's this, he's a disgrace to the game. I better see it. But I don't. I don't see it.
Yeah,
and nobody's talking mad smack yet. He cheated too.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're going to talk about cheaters, he's one of them. He better not get to the Hall of Fame when his career's up, because if he does, you better let Barry Bonds in. Do I got to name names? I got to name some names? But the question is with this, how many positive tests Barry Bonds had?
I think he just had one, wasn't it? Or was it more than one?
To my brain, I don't think he had none.
No, he had. I think he had.
Let me check that real quick.
Check it right quick. I love Barry Bonds.
Hey, let me ask you this: Is A-Rod in the Hall of Fame? I don't think he is.
No, he ain't going. He's never going.
Nobody. But when A-Rod, he came out and did the whole formal apology, for the whole steroid thing. But it's interesting though that we were so forgiving of A-Rod though. Like
A-Rod's never getting
in.
On TV all the time.
You know
I
what
don't think A-Rod's getting in. But
this one, because the media
this cheater here, he did a straight to the game. He did a straight to the game like everybody else. But I don't think Barry Bonds had a positive test. Maybe he did something I don't remember, but I don't think he did.
I don't think he did either, because I'm not seeing anything where he got suspended.
That's what I'm saying. It's a lot of.
I mean, we all know he was the big case in actual jury, in actual court.
Yeah.
Where he did, lie and obstruct, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But that was not MLB's ruling. That was, in court.
Right.
Okay. So that's interesting. So if that's the case, then why is Barry Bonds not in the Hall of Fame?
Because he was kind of the one who started all that. You know what I mean? He was the one that was on that list that led to A-Rod and a bunch of other people.
Oh, yeah, right. I remember that was that congressional.
It was the dude in, I think, Miami. Because, my God, before him, everyone was doing it still. And then once it hit in 2007, then they implemented, I think, the drug policy right after that, where they had the suspension. They made them a lot stricter and whatnot. But yeah, Barry was the first one in kind of really MLB cracking down on steroid usage. It was obviously the main three are him, Roger Clemens, and Alex Rodriguez. Those are the big three ones. There's a bunch more if you go back and look just how many people got hit with suspension.
Oh yeah.
They
really kind of covered the big names.
And that's why Barry's not getting in, because there's no doubt the dude is one of the most dominant hitters of all time. I put him up there with him, Pete Rose, Tony Gwynn, all the guys who were just game changers. If you like baseball, you love Barry Bonds. That bro can swing the bat like no one else. But hey, someone's got to be the fall guy, right? And that's what Barry was at. He was the biggest name in the game. He just set that record for most home runs. He's going to be the guy who gets hit, and that's why we he's not going to get in, and he hasn't. So
incredible. So we're gonna go ahead and I guess roll into final thoughts. All right. Hello. Goodbye. Hey, final thoughts. Logan, you want to start it off?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. An interesting fact, Damien, if you're still here. Bro, did you see what one of the kickers said for how he was practicing? He said, I was practicing horrible field conditions to get ready for Soldier Field. Bro, man, the Bears ain't got nothing going for them right now. That's right, man. If it ain't for Justin, they failed with Khalil Mack. They look like they're going to fail with Justin Fields because he's throwing to a bunch of guys who ain't really worth nothing. There ain't no true number one there anymore since Robinson's up and left. But I'm just saying, man, if your kicker's coming out saying, I'm going to practice on some really crappy field conditions to mimic how the home stadium is in the National Football League, I think you got some issues. That's like an Oakland Athletics type of move right there. Saying, I'm going to go practice out in the gravel and rain to practice from Oakland fielding practice. But, hey, that's just me, though.
Yeah, that's just insane. I'll tell you honestly, what I think is interesting is correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Aaron Judge is at 46 home runs. Is that correct? He's at 46, right?
I know he's leading the league, obviously.
I believe he's at 46.
Give me one second, I'll let you know.
Okay.
Right now, Aaron Judge has 46.
Yeah, so he's at 46 home runs right now, correct?
Yes, he has 12 more than the next man up, which is Kyle Schwarber.
Okay, so they're saying that he's on pace, or they're saying that I don't know if it's on pace or a good possibility, but he's basically, there is a way that he can hit 77 home runs this year.
I don't see that much. I don't see 77.
I can't remember where I saw it. I don't know if it was on Sporting News that had that article out. It was either Sporting News or maybe been Bleacher Report. But it was out there where they were saying that it's possible he could hit that. I'm telling you, like, if he hit 77 home runs, they better be checking him for steroids just to make sure that record's legit.
And that okay, so Aaron Judge has played in 110 games this season, right? So there's 52 left in the year for New York. He's got 46 home runs. I think he could get the 60. I would say 60. That means he's only got 14 more. So I could see 60. I don't see 77. That's just ungodly. Because that would break the single season home run record that Bonds has, I believe, right? With 72.
Yeah, I think he's at, is it 75 or 76 that he's at?
Let me see. Single season home run record. All right, give me 1 second here. Barry Bonds had 73 in 2001. So that would be 4 more. But I don't see that happening. If he does, bro, this man's going to get PED tested every single day if he breaks that. But I could see 60. I really could see 60 the way that he's hitting them at an ungodly pace. Obviously, he's the AL MVP, I believe, with how he's doing. I know you got your boy Alvarez, but I think Judge is starting to pull away with it. Now, I know the Yankees are struggling, but I think just his individual performance is just a little bit too much. And it's been a while since someone hit 60, Jay.
Yeah.
It has. I mean, the only person kind of close to it in recent memory, Giancarlo Stanton hit 59 back in 2017. It's kind of funny. It's his teammate. But, I mean, if he hits 60, I'm going to name you some of the guys he joins in a season, right?
Yeah.
Babe Ruth, Roger Maris, Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire, and Barry Bonds. I mean, that's
incredible.
You put in some of the best power hitters in history. I don't care PED usage or not. Power usage, obviously. So I could legit see him getting the 60.
Right.
Damon, you are on crack if you think he can get 80. Ain't no way.
If
you're playing, it'll be the show.
Out there,
but nah.
Man, what a time to be alive, though. I mean, could you imagine if he broke that this season? I mean, that would be just crazy.
Oh yeah, if he broke that, man, that would be just unbelievable. But I think he can get 60. I really do. He only needs 14 more, and with the rate that he's hitting them, it doesn't say here, but there is a stat where it's like how many at bats before a home run, but I can't see it right now on MLB.com. It doesn't show it, but I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, not one bit.
Man, what a time to be alive. We got a lot of baseball on tonight. I know Dodgers are playing. I haven't checked the scoreboard. I know Yankees are playing, Dodgers are playing, Astros are playing.
Braves already played a game.
The
Braves got a doubleheader. They won earlier today, and they're up, last I checked, 4-2 right now against the Marlins. So that'd be nice. Wow. I know Mets lost last night, I believe. And then the Braves play the Mets pretty soon and after this series here. So it's gonna be a good, hopefully a good rest of the weekend going into the next week.
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely. All right, folks. Hey, catch up. Let's see, today is Saturday.
One more thing. Also, we still have a few spots open in our fantasy league, so please go over to our Facebook if you want to join. It is pinned at the very top of our page. Just click the link, put in the code, and we have a few spots remaining. We still don't have the date for the draft set up yet because we're still trying to get everyone in. But if you want to join, please go over there and put in all the necessary requirements, and we will get you in our fantasy football league. It's going to be a good time, just like last year, bro. It's going to be fun.
Oh, yeah. Hey, yeah, like Logan said, guys, make sure you go to Unscripted's Facebook page and scroll down there, hit that link, and then the password is in there for you to
everything's right there for you.
And, man, hey, listen, it's going to be a good year for fantasy football, man. It's going to be an amazing year. So get in there, click that link, and let's see who comes out on top this year. I expect big things, Logan.
Oh, it's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be competitive. We're gonna have, of course, whenever the season starts, we're gonna have our weekly segments talking about it, and it's gonna be a good time, man.
All right, folks. Well, there you have it. Go check out that Unscripted page for that Facebook link to fantasy football, and we will see you there, as well as we will see you back on Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. And y'all enjoy the rest of your weekend. We are out of here.